Now, I talked about scope and complexity. Here you can see how the scope and complexity increases by level. You can almost think that increase is exponential. When we talk about complexity, there are three types of complexity. There is product complexity, which means whatever product that you're trying to build is highly complex. Maybe it's an ambiguous problem. The implementation is tricky. The technical requirements are really convoluted. Then there is people complexity. So if you're working across multiple organizations, the more teams you add, the complexity, communication, all of that becomes highly tricky. Finally, you have program complexity. So the more teams you have, the more ambiguity you have. Managing that program, figuring out the dependencies, the critical path, those are all highly complex. And your Gantt charts, that generally what we like to produce, they don't really look simple anymore. If you think about a senior or L5 TPM, it's a big wide range. I told you they are an advanced TPM. There's a wide variety. When you start out as a 5 versus where you end, there's a lot of growth that you have achieved. So going from 5 to 6 is a step function change because the level of work you do, the type of work you take on becomes more and more complex. In many companies, level 5 is considered terminal. That means you can continue to operate at that level, meet all expectations, but don't necessarily want to get promoted or may get promoted because the type of projects you're doing are at that same level. When you have to go from 5 to 6, you have to be able to do more complex work. Moving from 6 to 7 or from staff to senior staff or principal is another big jump, as you can see. When you have complexity and uncertainty, there is a lot of risk. The higher the complexity, the higher the uncertainty, bigger the risk. That's what TPMs are great at. TPMs can mitigate the risks. They can prevent or minimize the number of failures. This is where TPMs really add value.